This video was brought to you by Asia The Amazing Outdoors. Located in Woodridge, New York, you can enjoy the amazing outdoors in the Catskills. There's camping, ATV rentals, ATV riding lessons, guided ATV tours, and much more. Give them a follow on Instagram and shoot them a DM for inquiry. Or you can email them at asianewyork@gmail.com. This video was brought to you by Knafsale.com. This website is for knife lovers everywhere. Anyone in the world can buy or sell knives here on a truly customized platform made for people like us, man. When I listed knives, they asked what the blade steel was, and you get choices right there. They ask you what the scales are made out of, and you got choices right there. The point where I knew that this was made by a knife lover, when I had to select what brand the knife was, and all the brands we know and love were on there. Secure payments and safe shipping. You get tracking for literally everything. When you get paid, when something was sold, when the money is on the way, you get insurance as well, dude. There's a rating system, and if you have a good track record, you're actually eligible for giveaways, which they will do in the future. And lastly, the customer service is done by real people. I know this because I have been working with Knafsale.com daily, and they get back to me really quick. Forget eBay, forget all these other sites. Head on over to Knafsale.com, where EDC folks buy and sell their knives.
What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Ray, and this is the Everyday City Carry. And today I have a special guest. We have MaxlvlEDC. How's it going, man?
It's going good. Going good. Just another great Wednesday.
Nice. And I see that you have some mowing going on in the background.
Yes. Like literally, they picked the one time in the week that we happen to be talking to do it right outside my garage. Like literally they're out there doing their thing. I think they'll be gone in like a couple minutes, but just of course right now.
We'll bear with it for the time being. It's all good because they're going to move to a different spot of the yard in a little bit. So
I hope so.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I wanted to have you on here because I've talked about the EDC collab group like many times, and I've had a really good time in there. I've been in a bunch of different like content creator group chats, and that is the one where I feel the most at home. We don't chat all the time, but when we talk about our like achievements or how we try to help each other out with strategies and things like that, I get ridiculed for talking about that shit in other places because a lot of people don't take it seriously, you know? And I feel like we are all in a similar endeavor of trying to get to the next thing, trying to figure this YouTube social media thing out. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate being in there.
I mean, I do as well. I think though, what you might be experiencing is a lot of times people think that the only way to be successful is to prevent the success of others. So, and by that, I don't mean actively trying to sabotage them. What I mean is not sharing. And so it just hasn't been the case in anything that I've been involved in where restricting information has worked out for me. Like when I do modifications of tools, I want them to know everything. Because if you're coming because you're participating in the learning process, right? But that the more people out there trying these things, the better it is. Like the more interesting the community is, because it's not, you know, you might start it, we have a conversation about it, and it's that collaborativeness, that discussion, the community part of it that makes it awesome. And if we're all doing well, we're gonna help each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough content in EDC for you to back-to-back watch new content on a regular basis. You hit a wall at some point and nothing's being made. It's not like, for instance, you're in a sport like you love the NBA. Mm-hmm. You could literally watch new content on the NBA every hour, every day for the foreseeable future. There's a new video out. You will be fine. Yeah. But there's plenty of space. There's no reason to fight with each other or to prevent the success of each other, because those individuals are bringing new people into this genre, and now all of a sudden they're searching and finding your stuff too. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, you know, Metal Complex, shout out to him. He's one of my North Stars, definitely. Just absolutely crushing it in knife YouTube right now. He gave me a call, and I totally appreciate this from him. He gave me a call when I'm in a group chat with him and a couple of others, and I posted what was happening with shorts, right? I was like I think I was at like 700,000 views in 28 days. And he was like, "Is this YouTube?" And I said, "Yeah." And he messaged me separately and he said, "Hey man, do you have time to talk right now?" And he, I've talked about this story a few times. And he called me just to tell me like, "Dude, you're on your way to making it, like, this is what I saw when things started to change for me and things just went haywire after a year. It just started going crazy. And now this is what I do for a living." And it was, to hear that from, I would think I only had like 4,000 subs maybe at that time. And, I really appreciate that. But what he said was, think of YouTube as, a lot of people think that it's a pond or a lake. Like it's a whole fucking ocean, dude. Like there's so many people, even though, someone with 400,000 subscribers, you think they're reaching the same people as you. They are not. You know what I'm saying?
Not even
So
close.
yeah, it's like this famine mentality. I think, that needs to change, man. A lot of people are get envious. When I see people that I know succeed, I get inspired. You know what I'm saying? Neves Knives, I always talk about them. I had them on my podcast and they only had like less than 200 subscribers. They're at 200,000 right now. When I saw their trajectory going like this, I got fucking excited for them. I had them on this podcast.
Jared and his wife,
yeah,
they are a quintessential example of what consistency will do for you.
Yeah.
They have a genre, and their consistency really shines through. I mean, really, really does.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that they're necessarily doing new things in the reviews, but like you can almost count on Jared and them doing a live broadcast once a week, and then posting as often as they can, usually up to twice a day.
Yeah.
And
7 days a week.
I'm struggling to post 3 times a week at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, from long form content. And it's great what they're doing. And it pays off. It takes time, but it pays off.
Yeah.
And I think there's it's really cool. It's really cool to see it.
Mm-hmm. I do
find though
that happens.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I get really proud and like inspired when I see people do that. And I like to, that's part of the reason why I have content creators in this space on this podcast, is like I'm so interested in how they did it. You know what I mean? Like, with Jared is just consistency, right? Let's start with you actually. How did you get into the hobby? Like just EDC in general? Were you always into it as a kid? Like were you in the Scouts or something, or how did you get into
most
it?
people, I had no idea what the term EDC stood for, like up until only recently.
Me too, bro. I thought it was I was a DJ, right, for 10 years.
Yeah.
EDC to me is Electric Daisy Carnival in Las Vegas. It's
that is one of the number one things you'll find if you search for it, right?
And I went there like 6 times. So like when I heard EDC from like Love Them Knives or Nick Shabazz 5 years ago, I was like, oh shit, is this like some fucking like festival thing?
Yeah, like what does the knives have to do with this? My guess is that the acronyms probably came from some military related item. I mean, that just seems right to me, that it would be related to the things that you have to carry. It just makes sense. Maybe that's not it, but inevitably that term has been possessed by a group of people, and the definition I think will range. But when I started, like really, when we talk about it, I was depending on these everyday items most of my life. I mean, I think especially in my early teen years, I spent most of my days when I got home from school on my own. And I don't mean that it was forced on me. I wanted to go out. I wanted to go fishing. I fished practically every single day.
Amazing.
I was on boat. I was on I pull out my canoe or whatever. We lived in a lake at the time. And that was like, it was the calm for me. It was the place I felt good. And the thing that I was carried with me, and I've talked about it on my channel, is I always carried my original Leatherman Wave. And it was the thing that went on my belt immediately as I got home. I would like put it on and I would go out. And like I had other things, like I would have a bunch of other stuff in my pockets. I liked gear. I've always liked gear. Like my uncle who went fishing with me would go crazy because I'm always changing the lures, want to try the new thing. But I guess it was always a thing.
Yeah.
I made a video because my mom brought a present to me for my birthday last year, and I'd forgotten all about it. It was a little, do I have it right now? I don't know if I have it right now, but it's a little plastic Play-Doh Swiss Army knife. That no lie. It is like,
that's so funny.
I'm like, wow, I was starting early, you know what I'm saying? I was like really early, like diapers with the little multi-tool hanging out, you know?
That is awesome.
I guess it made a lasting impression. But that's the genre, that's the part of it that I really enjoy, is the multifunctional items, the multi-tools, the flashlights and all that stuff. I like that. I like the knives too, but it's mostly a fascination.
So I Googled where the term EDC came from, right? So let's just take a look right here. So for people listening, I'm going to read it to them right now. While the term usually used as a noun, like my EDC, was originally born out of threads on outdoor enthusiast forums, dude. So it's pretty much like the forums started it, I guess.
Okay, interesting.
Or maybe not. Maybe, you know, that's just one definition or a random theory of it. It might be something else, you know, completely, but that's what the Google says. So how did you get started with YouTube though? Like, when did you start your YouTube channel?
All right, so I had my YouTube really, I think it started 2019, 2018, something along those lines. Some of my first videos are about 3D printing with that printer over there. And like, we were doing things like, you know, 3D printed slingshots and sling bows and some weird stuff. And I took most of that, I just kind of, you know, left it sit. But in 2020, I was working as a substitute teacher at the time. And all the schools shut down, like all of them. You know, I'm home with my daughter and we're doing stuff, but you know, I needed to do something or I was going to go insane. So I decided to, you know, work on this. And part of that is because I gave up playing video games entirely. I was like, at one point in my life, I was completely addicted. I'm talking 70 to 80 hours per week. I'm like you. On video games.
Is that where MaxlvlEDC comes from?
What?
Max level.
No, but there is a video game reference. It is a video game reference.
Yeah.
So being Max,
right?
Actually, where it really started was an old meme of Sean Connery. Have you seen this meme?
Which meme?
Once you reach max level, you just don't go any higher. And it's like him in like the late 80s and then the 90s and then the 2000s, and he looks exactly the same. It's never changed. Like, that's really where it started from. That was the joke.
Wow. I thought it was like some kind of action RPG MMO reference or something like that.
It could be. I mean, sure, it could be. But
what
like,
did you play? Just worked. I'm curious. What did you play?
I was pretty heavily into MMOs for a while. Like I think
WoW?
in college, like, yeah, I played WoW in Classic through first expansion. I was one of the top 3. I was in one of the top 3 rating guilds in North America.
Wow. That's deep, bro.
As the only warlock at the time, because warlocks were absolute garbage. They were the worst class that could possibly exist. And just because of sheer stubbornness, I'm like, no, I'm gonna be the warlock. That would, you know.
You play Diablo or anything like that?
You know. Anyway, no, I never played Diablo. I'm one of those people that picks one thing and just becomes hyper focused on it.
Yeah.
And so I was like I said, I was playing 70 plus hours a week. It was like not healthy, not healthy at all.
I was there with you.
What's up?
I was there with you. I was playing Monster Hunter. So I played Monster Hunter since Monster Hunter on PlayStation 2, right? And in Monster Hunter, you can hunt a monster for 45 minutes straight. One monster. And you have to farm that monster. It's kind of like every single hunt could be a raid, right? And you're playing with only 3 other people. So in the beginning, you had to meet up with people and you were using the DS to play with each other. Then it became, you know, you got the PSP and then it became the new DS, 3DS, and then you were playing online and then went to systems and all that. And I've been deeply engrossed in this for a long time. I still have, I played the latest version. My wife and I, fortunately for me, I think the wife is obsessed with me or something. I'm always telling her to stop sweating me, but she gets into whatever I'm doing. So no, shout out to the Kelly. Everyone loves her on the show. So we played video games together. Not a lot, ever since I started this content creator thing professionally, like I do not.
It's hard to find time.
Bro, I have not played a video game in months, right? And I love video games, but I just don't have time. Like I have responsibilities or whatever. And you know, the only free time I have is usually the time that I give my wife, right? And we're watching movies or we watch anime or something. That's what we do. So I think we're in a similar kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch like a little League of Legends playing and all this other stuff. I'll watch all these different things. The only games that I will allow myself to play, like I literally went cold turkey, no games for a long time. And like the things I will play is an emulator of DS game on my phone, which I love. Like being able to do that, put it down, and then I know I don't even have to do anything. It's just pick it up whenever I want. And then recently I started playing with people at work, a version of Settlers of Catan online. I don't know if you've ever played the game. It's a fantastic board game. It's really, really fun to play with other people. But no, we play that a lot, and it's a blast.
I'm looking it up right now. Settlers of Catan.
Well, there's an online one called colonist.io. And it's like a non-trademarked version, right? And it's a blast. It's a lot of fun to play, and it's free.
Is it like Civilization or something?
No, Settlers of Catan. We could just go on a full-on tangent
like this,
of
right?
the game, but it's a very good strategy game. Yeah, it's a
cool.
really great strategy game that changes every single time you play it. So unlike Monopoly, where spoiler alert, there is only one Monopoly in Monopoly, and that is the number of houses you have. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you lock in 4 houses and don't ever upgrade, you just win.
Yeah.
Like, great game. I mean, it's pure luck, and if you luck into a Monopoly and do that exact strategy, the game's over. Whereas that's not the case in Settlers. There's a lot of cool things that can happen. A little bit of chance. It's just right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So you said you got started with YouTube in 2018, right?
2020. So it was 2020.
Oh, 2020. How did that come about, bro?
Oh, well, I mean,
you said your daughter,
home. Like I was home with my daughter. My wife works as was in the medical field, so she was working through the pandemic, and the schools were closed. So I'm taking care of my daughter, and I was working on making videos and trying new things, and I was doing it in the bedroom, you know, all tabletop kind of stuff, and it was fun. It was good. It solved that. It's the problem solving addiction. It's really not about video games. It's about problem solving. I love to problem solve. So for me, EDC just became a new puzzle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And for me, putting the perfect pieces together is what I love to do.
I am with you on that. I love, for me, with creating content around EDC gear, I love how people react to certain things. So I like to see how people react to things on different platforms, because I'm posting on IG, TikTok, and YouTube. And, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm just addicted to dopamine or something. Because
your analytic rush, I think that's what they need to start calling it, like hashtag analytic rush. Like, we need to get a t-shirt. No, really, we should all get one and send it to everyone in the group, because I love that.
Because when I see those numbers blow up, you know, when I'm doing like, you know, for me now, actually, you know, it's kind of like a multi-pronged attack, because I create content for this brand, Tech Accessories. I actually
I love them. They're made in the United States. Pretty much everything they make.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
So I did this kind of knife disassembly on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube yesterday, and I did this, and this thing spins for like forever, bro. Like, I'm not even kidding, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a ceramic bearing in there. But I've seen, you know, things like this before, not this good. Like, I'm talking about, I can leave this standing on a table, it will not stop spinning. So I featured this in that disassembly, and that video did like 80K views on TikTok. And I'm like, holy crap, you know, I get this weird rush in the morning. If things don't go well, though, my vulnerability is that. It's like, if things don't go well, like, I don't get those pops, and I wake up the next morning, I feel kind of like shitty. Like, I'm eating my bulking oatmeal and drinking coffee, and I'm like, I didn't even get 1,000 views on that. Like, it's terrible, man. Do you ever feel that way?
Swear to God, right outside the door.
We're getting to the goods too, man. You
Yeah,
know?
seriously. Right as you're talking, it's like, no.
Don't worry
Yeah,
about
no.
it. People will understand. We have a lot
No,
of
it's all
blue
good.
collar
It's all
guys
good. They'll be
listening.
gone in a
Yeah.
second. But
Yeah.
no, I love that. And unfortunately, it's one of those things you gotta like. I have to move the icon for YouTube Studio off my first screen. Like I have to keep it on the second one because I'm like, I don't want to keep clicking on it, right? And I think it's been really, going back to the beginning about collab groups, it's been really cool talking to people at different stages. Like you're at 7,000, I'm approaching 20,000. You know,
amazing,
Gone
bro.
Gadgets approaching 60, 70,000.
Yeah.
And then you have, you know, Accessorize Me, who's just about to hit the 1 million mark. Just so cool.
That is the North Star, bro. You know,
I don't, here's the thing. I actually don't want that. I don't want 1 million.
Okay. And why is that?
Because right now I'm able to communicate and interact with every single person that posts a comment.
Yeah.
If I hit that much, I'm not going to be able to do that.
It's impossible. Yeah.
And I don't want to be that big. I would like to hit 100,000 and be a resource for people, preferably to the point where the focus moves a little bit away from product and more about enabling people in the genre to collaborate with each other. So making connections with product companies and content creators, you know, creating a hub for them to connect with each other, because it's about saturation for products. And you have all of these creators with 5,000 or 6,000 followers who are hungry to do something wonderful for your whatever.
Yep.
And it seems like a mistake not to take full advantage of that. I mean, really, like what is the $30, $40, $50 that you're sending out to someone compared to what it generates, right? It generates
marketing is
much.
expensive, bro. Marketing is so expensive. Imagine paying for ads and instead just send your product to someone, have them check it out, do videos on it, and you get like literal, I mean, you know, just like
millions of dollars in coverage for what? The cost of a product? It's nothing. Like and also, they could send it out and still have bad coverage, like bad referencing, and still going to help them.
Yes, because it drives traffic, and that's what you want in this age of ordering things online. It's like that's all you want. I have another question here, actually, man. I see if what do you do for a living, by the way?
So, I was, as I said before COVID, I was a substitute teacher when we were we were living in Pennsylvania. When we moved here, we moved from my wife's job. She got a cool offer, and I actually work for a local county in their recreation and parks and recreation service. So, but that is mostly, at this point, it's mostly to create some kind of a consistency throughout my week. Yeah. Because I spend a lot of time making content, mostly for my own enjoyment and for my own peace of mind. I mean, I'm glad people enjoy it, but that's really why I do it. And that job is great because I wake up at 4 a.m. and I get finished work. Yeah. I get finished work at 10, 10 or noon, depending on what the day. And the best part is I've already accomplished something. You know, I've already hit my baseline for work, and now I can spend my time being creative.
When do you sleep, bro?
Yeah. What?
When do you sleep? So you went to work last night? You went to work last night, and then
no. So I'm talking in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, and 4 a.m. to 12 noon. But I'm saying, exactly. So you worked from 4 a.m. to now, and then you're doing this podcast. So like, what time did you sleep last night?
Oh, last night I stayed up really late. It was like 1 o'clock.
Bro,
dude,
I cannot. How old are you?
Old enough.
Like, well, I'm 41, right?
30, and I'm in my mid 30s, but it was not a good idea. But we had this really. My wife had this amazing interview, and we were so jazzed about it. We just were up talking the whole time. But
I understand.
It's
because
it's
I can't do what you did. I can't do.
Well, no. Tomorrow, if we were talking tomorrow, I'd be like a zombie. Like it's always like tiredness like that delays a day. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna be Walking Dead.
I slept at 9:30, and I woke up at
9:30. I don't think I've been to bed at 9:30 in a long time.
Well, it's like I have this. Well, it's not a crazy schedule. It's a pretty like tuned schedule where I sleep at like around 9:30, wake up at 6 or 5, work out, then prepare for the day, do my work because I work from home. Like I just create content, but I try to have that. If I don't have that rigorous thing, like my ADHD brain is just like,
Well,
yeah, and it
I
just is
mean,
bad.
what you're doing, like having that sort of regimented something you have to do, like showing up at 4:45 for me or whatever it is, that's crucial. Like honestly, I found
Yeah,
myself to be much more productive once I started working again, like on a more consistent basis, like having a job and actually holding it and doing that. And truthfully, it's a great job because I spent half the time just theory crafting and prepping and researching
that's awesome.
the stuff I'm doing. You know, when I'm needed, I'm needed. But it's pretty cool. It allows me to, by the time I'm out, I'm ready. I know exactly what I'm doing that day, and I'm just kind of doing it. It's kind of fun.
To go back onto the, you don't want to have 1 million subscribers, right? But what if you did, and that was bringing in like
That's
a
okay.
large
I mean,
amount of
look,
money
I'm
for your
just not. I'm just
family,
not gonna go
you
out and
know?
seek it. I'm not gonna like
Yeah.
go say what happens if I light myself on fire running across the bridge so I can get a couple 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing that. Like I want to be genuine. I think the reason I initially, especially when I started getting stuff sent to me, I was worried I would be jaded
Yeah.
about it and it would like influence how I feel about it. And I realized something. If a company doesn't want to send me stuff anymore because I'm being honest, it's okay. And
Yeah.
I
Facts.
completely respect that. And they don't have to. It's perfectly fine with me. Most of the time, though, the thing I do, and just in case anybody here and wants to make content on this subject, out of respect for that product, right, and that person who sent it to me, what I do is I'll make the content and be honest about it, and then I'll say, here. So I just want you to know before I release this, this is what I'm saying. If you're okay with it, I'll post it. If not, it's okay. Don't worry about it, and we can just move on.
Yeah. I definitely do
And
the
so that's
same.
their option. So like to get that feedback from me, they sent me something.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give my honest opinion. Now, I got to say, it's really not that often anymore that I get stuff that I'm like, I'm going to talk badly about this product. But it does happen. I've had a
Yep.
couple of things that in fact, I have a couple of things right now that I'm like, I don't think I want to post this.
I was right there with you, bro. Like last, so I work with Blade Ops, and they send me a bunch of stuff. And there are other companies called autoknives.com, and I do well with OTFs and automatics and things. I move a bunch, but they sent me, like, I'm not gonna mention which line it was. They were so bad, bro. They were like $20-$30 autos that were so bad. Like I'm like sub gas station quality. Like I couldn't even.
Ouch.
Yeah, I just didn't even. I opened like a few, and then I just didn't show the rest. But I would say like out of the 40 knives they sent me, those 6 were the only ones that weren't phenomenal, bro. Everything else was
Yeah, I mean,
fire.
I'll
Loved
tell
showing
and
it,
I'll tell them this product isn't good.
Yeah, I just
Like,
didn't show it at all. I didn't promote it at all. Like I
yeah,
didn't like no
yeah, and
links,
I
no
won't do it.
nothing. Yeah.
I won't show. Like, I don't want to be like. If you hear and you can go back and I have some videos that I really regret where I like go off on Leatherman stuff, but I've paid my money to buy that product.
Yeah.
I'll go ham on that.
Yeah.
Although I don't think it's particularly productive, but I mean I'll be straight up honest. I'm gonna post it.
To talk about Leathermans, actually, my next question is why carry a multi-tool everywhere?
Okay, it's very simple. There's 2 reasons to carry a multi-tool everywhere. Just 2. Only 2. No other reasons. Period.
Okay. All right.
First one is you like money. If you like money and you work for a living with tools, you might want to carry one.
Yeah.
If you save 5 minutes a day by having a tool on your hip that can function as multiple different implements without having to go get them, it works out to be almost like 30 hours in the course of a year. 30 hours. How much is 30 hours of your time worth?
Right?
Think about that. And I got to tell you, laborers, people who work with tools for a living, they are not making $15 an hour. They're making $40 to $60 an hour. Sometimes if you're like an electrician, you're working commercial, you can be $150 an hour. So what is your time worth?
Facts.
Is the first question. You're not going to say, no one can make the argument that a multi-tool will ever, under any circumstances, replace a dedicated tool. But if it can get you 80% of the way there, and it doesn't require you to leave where you are to go find the thing you're looking for, I mean, you're writing yourself money. You're writing yourself a check. You're printing yourself money.
How about a city dweller like
Hold on,
me?
real quick. The best way to explain this to people who still don't believe, this is what we do right here. See this? Everyone who's worked in the trades knows what this is. This is an organizer, right? They will not hesitate to spend thousands of dollars for organizers, right? You wouldn't hesitate because the time it saves you makes you money.
Mm-hmm.
This is identical to this. They are exactly the same thing. They both save you time and make you more money. It's as simple as that. That's the first part. The second part is this is what applies to most people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the second part with a multi-tool is multi-tools can fit into places that a primary toolkit cannot. And that means that when you are constrained by either weight or dimension, a multi-tool can fill the space when other things cannot. Okay? Like, even just on the most simple level, right? This multi-tool is a plier, a knife, and in my case, a saw. Forget everything else inside the tool.
Which Leatherman is that? Which Leatherman is that?
This is my modified Leatherman free P2.
Nice.
So it just has a saw instead of the scissor, but you could say the scissor. The point is in its most basic form, it's taking up a lot less space and probably even less weight than those items will. And there's a number of environments where this could go and a full toolkit won't. And it's not that you couldn't make a conscious effort to carry these things with you all the time, right? You could. But reality is we're not going to think about it. We're not going to have it all the time. Right? We're not going to consciously try to bring my backpack in from the car that's got my tools in it everywhere I go. Like if you have a small little thing you have to deal with in your office, right? You're not going to go back to your car to go fix the problem.
Facts.
Right? You're not.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and so you can argue this, by the way, with a knife. You can argue this with a lot of different things, but a multi-tool can apply multiple useful features. It's not going to be better than a fixed blade. It's not going to be better than a dedicated pair of pliers, but it covers a lot of those basic actions, right?
I would actually carry one more often, man. I have a Leatherman Wave and a couple of other, like, some Gerber stuff, some SOG stuff. And I would get more into them, but like as a person who,
they're heavy.
No, that's not even it for me.
Okay.
That's not even it. It's like since I live in New York City, like I don't believe in carrying a kit, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay.
I like where your head's at. Keep going with that.
So I would carry a kit if I didn't live here, because I would just leave that kit like an EDC pouch or some type of thing, where I would leave it in maybe my sling bag or my backpack or whatever it is I'm carrying, right? In New York City, however, the only way I carry knives is in my pocket. I don't even use the pocket clip. And I'm going to explain right now. This is very important. In New York City, when you use the subway, which everyone does, right? At certain points of the month, they will have bag check areas, right? And the police are allowed to search your bag for dangerous things, drugs, anything like that. Now, I'm not saying that if I had my Leatherman or my multi-tool in my bag, if it would get me arrested or they would take it. However,
well, it shouldn't. Legally, it's legal in New York City, but
New York City knife laws are fucking insane. I've lived here since '87, and literally, it could be completely legal, but like,
and it still gets you in
depending
trouble.
on the situation, like, hey, that cop might just be feeling like they need to do something.
Yeah.
And I have nothing against the police. I support them fully. But what I'm saying is
I don't like ambiguity. I don't like ambiguity in laws, unfortunately.
Right. So they will need to fill quotas and need to write tickets or citations or anything like that. So even though I may not get arrested or even get a ticket or a citation, them checking my bag and seeing my tools, right, will, again, we're talking about the hours here, might prevent me from getting to where I need to go for 30 to 45 minutes because of that interaction. So
I
actually carry my leather pocket sheath, which has my flashlight, 2 Swiss Army knives. That's the multi-tool that I carry. It's kind of a multi-tool, but it's not. I carry those two.
No, it absolutely is.
Right. So I carry those 2 and a Bic lighter, and then I have my knife in that pocket. So they can search your bag. They cannot search a person. That is, I don't even know if I'll get in trouble saying that here, but that is the rule. And that's why I don't carry a pouch, bro. I want to, bro. I
do have a question though.
Yeah.
If you have a pocket clip showing,
what gives them more of a reason to frisk you.
Fair enough.
So I know a friend of mine who's an EDC person, and he said that you are actually not allowed to carry knives at all on the train, on the MTA, like at all.
Train. Okay.
Yeah, like at all, bro. Like you're not supposed to have it. I asked him, and he's worked for MTA for like over 20 years or something. He's like, yeah, you're not even supposed to have it, like anything like that.
Interesting.
And I'm like,
so in that context, and this is what people don't always understand about laws. Property rights trump everything else. People don't understand that. Your personal rights, everyone thinks they have a right.
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
Right.
It's whoever owns the property that defines the rules. Yeah. And that's a good thing, by the way. That might seem unfair, but in truth, it actually works out in the long run. But yeah, so in the context, I mean, like the municipality or whoever owns that, the train, I mean, they get to define the rules basically. It's funny that you were saying that you wouldn't carry a kit.
I would.
This is what I've learned about multi-tools after starting out all the way over here and thinking I understood everything. The more I carry them, the less I carry that works with them. In other words, I don't like kits that go with them. I don't like bit kits, the ones I actually carry in my pocket. I don't, if you need a dedicated security Torx or whatever it happens to be, have a toolkit, a real one with no multi-tools in it. None. And then, but the benefit of having a tool like the Free Series, which has no removable parts, number one, you're not going to lose anything. And two, they all work a little bit better for their intended purpose. They're usually a lot longer. They can get in smaller spaces. And if you need more than that, if you really are trying to do something, pull the toolkit out, right?
Yeah.
Understand, I mean, multi-tools are not going to fix everything. They're just not. So, I mean, don't try to make it more than it is. And I think that's why I really, as I do this, I want it smaller and more compact with less things in it, right? I mean, my dream tool is like a folding knife.
Yeah.
But has just two other things in it. It literally has like a plier and a screwdriver built into it.
How big would you want it?
Most importantly, being under 5 ounces.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
This is the really big important thing. So under 5 ounces and so I guess it's one other thing. The 2 outer sections, you can pull the knife blades and everything out of them. Like they are modular. So you take them out. So when you have a situation like you're talking about, instead of having that knife blade, I could keep a scissor and I could keep a file.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong. It's completely legal. I could walk right on a plane, theoretically, if TSA doesn't. But yeah, I mean, they take everything, but you get my point. Like that's the future. I really believe that. I think that multi-tools with blades are dumb. They're dumb. They really, really are. Because we're trying to make it into something it's not. It's okay to have an option, but you should be able to not have the option.
What's your favorite multi-tool?
That's a tough one. Honestly, it's tough. I honestly, are we talking unmodded? Like, because I have to say one, but it's like, oh, you modded it.
No, it's fine. Like, if it's modded, we could talk about it.
Okay,
people are interested in hearing about it for sure.
I actually, right now, let me grab the multi-tool box I have in front of me here. The ones I actually don't carry, I have 100, 50, 60, 70 multi-tools, and that's not including the ones that are in pieces right now. And but I only end up carrying 5 or 6 of them on a daily basis. And the one that has made it in my pocket the most lately has been this new one from Victorinox.
The Swistle?
This is their new MX clip.
Oh.
So it's actually what's different about it is it has, okay, I'm trying to get it to focus.
Yeah. Nice.
They added one-handed capability to their platform, and they added their own version of the pocket clip, which is something people said they would never do. They said they would never do this, basically. And I mean, the people who were fans thought Victorinox would never adapt to the US market. Well, here's the problem. This is really good.
I'm
it's
looking
the
at it
same
right now.
tool set. It's the same tool set as the original Spirit X, but with the one-handed blade.
This looks sick, dude. I'm looking at it right now.
The thing is, it's a lifetime guarantee. Its blade is less than 2 3/4 inches, so it's pretty short. It's not very intimidating. My only issue, like I said in my review of it, is that the implements are a little bit too difficult to deploy if you have soft nails. But I fixed that problem right away with just a diamond file on the inside of it. Like, I modified it very slightly so that it opens a little easier, and now it's perfect, right? And now it works great. And this is a great tool. It doesn't. I will say the cutters on this are not my favorite thing, but the pliers are fantastic. The quality. I mean, this thing will last a lifetime, absolutely, without question.
I love multi-tools, man. I've always, whenever I would get one, I like them as much as. So here's the thing. I wanted to talk about this a little bit because, you know, I am in this hobby, and because we were talking about knife steals on the WhatsApp, right? And I'm like, it's almost like the way that I collect gear is the same as someone who collects Funko Pops or comic books or sneakers or cars or guitars or whatever it is, card games, like anything like that. Because as a city dweller and as a person who is not a homeowner, like, I am not out there feathering sticks, brother. I'm just not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
It's so true.
Yeah, I cut boxes, and the most use my knives get is they get content made for them. They get content made for them. I flip them a bunch. I admire them. And as much as they are tools, for what I use them for, they're almost like art pieces now, you know, whether they're budget or high end, because I don't use them the same as someone who is working on a house or has like a blue collar type job. Not that I don't want to do those things. When I get to do those things, like I'm helping my mom clean out her garage. So like, I'm glad I have this knife with a great steel and I'm breaking down boxes and that stuff feels good for me. But on a day-to-day, like, I'm not doing that, you know? So, you know.
It's funny you mentioned that in that context, exactly as you did, because my journey with knives has led me back to square one. Like, I went all the way up to the $600 knives. I went straight like this. Boom. I found the best knives in their category. You know, I got the Barrows. You know, the Vero Synapse XL. And I was like, and I realized at that moment that was the most impressive, most amazing knife I've ever held in my hands.
Vero is
and
so
I've also,
good.
And I've also held the Demco 8020, one of the toughest American-made custom knives I've ever seen, with, you know, amazing.
Yeah.
And I had an experience, and maybe you can share in this, where, you know, I'm trying to convince myself this is a tool and I'm using it, right? That's what I'm trying to tell myself. That's what I'm telling myself. Yeah. And I walk outside and I'm, you know, doing something stupid. You know, like when, you know, you have flipper tab and you do the thing. And
yes.
And I fumble the ball. I fumble the ball with a near $400 knife. And this thing is on its way down. A split second, I'm seeing it fall down to the concrete, and I'm like, and in the last second, I just kick it. I kick it, and it lands in the grass and everything. And I realized at that moment that was not a knife. That was a piece of art that I was carrying in my pocket, and I have no right to hold on to it, because if I can't treat it like what the tool is, I shouldn't have it.
It's called a safe queen.
I don't, and I won't. I refuse to have one. I don't want. In fact, it's become such a disease. This like such like a thing in my head I'm going to end up getting rid of the best knife I've ever used, which is this one. This is the Magnacut Ritter Hogue.
Doug Ritter. Yeah, Hogue, yeah. Why would you get
the
rid of
Doug Ritter
that?
Hogue? And the reason I'm getting rid of this knife
is
not because it's not the perfect knife, which it is.
It's awesome.
It's literally everything. It's Magnacut. It's perfect ergonomics. It's excellent in the pocket. Everything. Everything's right. Except that it's limited edition. And everyone wants this exact knife. And there's only like 200 of them. And I can't bring myself to use it because I know it's basically should be a self-queen to someone who actually would collect this thing.
But how much is
it? I want this exact knife. I just don't want a limited edition one.
How much is it?
It wasn't even the cost. It's 200 bucks, which is, by the way, very cheap for this knife. Very cheap for a USA made Hogue.
Yeah.
This is milled carbon fiber.
Yeah. Yep. I know that knife.
I've
had it before. Oh, speaking of Magnacut, bro, remember we were talking about the Hogue Deca?
Yeah, Hogue Deca is nuts.
Which blade did you want? Did you want the Warncliffe, the clip point, like?
Clip point. Clip point.
Because
I like both. I actually want to set up both. I really do.
I actually just did a video on a Hogue Deca and Magnacut, the black one, on Knafsale. It's $110 right now, free shipping. So you're getting
I'm in it. I'll take it.
Less. Yeah, it's on there. I hope no one bought it because I shouted it out on my pages before we
did
fine.
This. If it's gone, it wasn't meant to be. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, but it's a good deal though. I just found it today. I was gonna say, yeah, with knives, man, I'm kind of right there. I haven't bought a knife for a long time. Like, I'm fortunate in this hobby that I make content for a big brand that they send me stuff. Like, I don't keep any of this, but you know, I get the commission. They get a bunch of content made. They make a shitload of money, and I get to check out all these new stuff like every month.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I could just get like a little box that they send me shit and it has a return label, and then I can just play with it for a week and send it back, I would.
Yeah,
because like
that's literally what I do.
I have limited myself down to 16 knives that I've kept, and I keep eliminating them. And I really only carry 2 or 3 of these, and very rarely now, because I won't go. Here's the thing: I won't go without a multi-tool. I'll go without a knife, like a dedicated one. Because if I want to carry a knife, this is what I'm carrying.
Which knife is that?
This is a Magnacut Overland.
Ooh, nice.
And it is the perfect complement at 4.5-inch blade to this. Right?
That's amazing.
See,
how much
in reality, if we're really talking pure functionality, pure function, no laws out there, it's fixed blade plus multi-tool makes sense, because no matter how good your knife is, whether it's made of adamantium or vibranium or whatever you call it, okay, it's not a plier.
Yeah, true.
That's the reality. Is no matter what you do, no matter what the geometry is, no matter how slicey it is, it doesn't matter. It's still not going to function as a plier.
Facts.
And so, I swear to God, there are plenty of weeks I use a plier 3 times more than I use a knife. I'm telling you, it's weird. The moment it's so strange, but the moment you start carrying one, you're gonna like, wow, I use this a lot. So the best one, I think, for starters, and I know it's an exclusive, but it's worth it. Go get yourself a $40 Leatherman bolster.
Yeah, I mean, I have the Wave.
No, the Leatherman bolster is $40. It weighs 6 ounces, which is not bad. Still significantly less than most. It has a one-handed blade, so you can use it like a normal folding knife.
It's called the bolster?
Bolster. It's a Costco exclusive.
Oh, so I'm looking at this Leatherman bolster. Costco.
Yeah, it's a Costco exclusive, which is why
it's not the Rev.
No, the Rev is terrible. Don't ever get.
I see this right here. Yeah, the bolster right here.
It's like the strictly better Rev because it has a spring-loaded plier. It's just right for so many people.
Yeah, it's $44.99 right here on Costco.
Yeah, I can get it at my Costco for $40. I saw it yesterday.
That's cool as shit. I mean, I like the thing with multi-tools is like,
I mean, in 2022, $45 for anything USA made with a 25-year warranty is nuts.
Wild.
It's wild. I mean, like you're paying more for that for Chinese. Oh yeah, Chinesium. You know,
Chinesium.
Speaking of amazing things made overseas, I'm always really impressed when I find a budget. That's the other reason. Like, I sold expensive knife because I was finding so much joy in discovering the perfect budget knife. Like,
Yes.
I'm always on the hunt for that perfect balanced value knife, like that I can recommend to everyone and not feel guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking for that perfect. Like, I found a couple of real doozies, man, that are
the
like
budget knife
how
market
do you
right
compete
now
with this kind of thing?
Yeah, the budget knife market right now is like so
It's
good.
insane.
It's so good that I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna recommend like a petrified fish or a scent cut or something to a regular person, like more than even like a Civivi, bro. Because Civivi is like $100.
Well, actually,
now.
Civivi got really expensive for some reason.
Yeah. Well, they did scent cut, so scent cut is their under $50 brand now. That's what it is.
Well, like, it's funny. I reviewed this knife. I said the real problem was that it was priced out way it shouldn't be. So this was $70, and now they dropped it to $55, which is exactly what I said.
Yeah.
And so this is made by Cube.
Oh, Cube, yeah, it's good.
This is called the Hide. It is literal perfection.
Yeah.
That's completely tightened down, by the way.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, no, they make really great stuff. I have some of their knives. Yeah.
Yeah, this thing's a front flipper, top flipper. It's absolutely insane. It's currently 55, and the most important thing being that it's in 14C 28N.
Dude, I've been saying this like crazy. At one point,
they should just throw away every mid-range steel.
Yeah,
every single one should just be trashed. And I'm talking about
with 14C 28N, right? When I first got into this hobby, you had brands like Rake, and they were selling knives with 14C 28N for $30, right? Now there are knives at 14C 28N that are like over $100.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. By the way, Rake is amazing, and they're still selling those knives.
Yeah, I know, at the same price they were like 5 years ago. It's insane.
Yeah, Rake is awesome. Highly recommended. Anybody watching this, go get the P801 right now. $30.
Yeah.
It will literally melt your brain that this thing is $30.
Yes.
Not only is its heat treatment on point, which is rare, its cutting geometry is excellent. It's a steel frame lock with multiple deployment methods. I mean, it's like, what?
Yeah, what? It's pretty awesome.
And Petrified Fish came roaring out too with the mini beluga.
Yeah, I have the big one, the regular beluga.
The little one is 14C, and it is so ergonomic and just awesome.
Yep.
These are, and what I like about these about being recommendable. I only recommend knives under 3 inches just because it's just more recommendable, but I never carry one. So that's the weird part. I recommend sub 3-inch knives, and I never carry a sub 3-inch knife. Ever. I will never carry one.
Now. I'm like more of a under 3.5.
3.5. Because it's got to complement the multi-tool.
Yeah. The blade length restriction in New York is under 4-inch, but I try to keep it under 3.5 because, and I try not to carry anything like too tactical. You know what I mean? Tactical looking, you know, which is going to bring me to my next thing here, right? We're going to play a segment called Sharp or Dull. This is how I like to end the show. And we go through Blade HQ's new arrivals list. And we're going to say sharp for the knife is good or dull for, you know, it's bad. Smash or pass for knives, basically. So the first knife here, and by the way, I do not choose this. I do not like handpick these. I just go with what I think is going to drum up conversation. So
no problem. I will. I just remembered that there is one folding knife that under 3 that I do carry regularly, and that's this one. This is the only one.
That's the native. Which one is that?
The Native 5 Salt.
Oh, nice.
The LC200N, one of the my top 3. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Anyway, go ahead, do your thing.
That's a good one, bro. That's a good knife right there.
If we're not being snobbish about opening mechanisms, it is the only EDC knife you need. Truthfully,
it's a great knife. This knife though, is this one great? This is the Fox Bastinelli Contrador. All right, it's $271, $272.
Huge pass on this one. What's the steel?
The steel is N690, and it's
N690. I'm gonna like puke in my mouth right now.
Yeah, it's micarta.
It's N690. Okay, can we talk about N690? Why does that steel exist? It's strictly worse 154 cm. It's strictly worse than 154 cm.
I'm going dull on it as well.
It's horrible. Why did they charge so much money for that steel? I don't get it.
It's a Bastinelli, I guess. It's like a fighting knife, right? This guy does combat knives. That's what Bastinelli does, right?
Okay.
That's what I think. But yeah, I'm gonna go a hard pass on that.
Yeah, not just that. Even if you know what you're doing with a knife, I'm just gonna, for a very brief aside here, you're still at such a disadvantage. You have to be so good to realistically use it. You're better off not carrying something dedicated for the purpose, but something that you use every day to cut up your sandwich that you're so good at manipulating that it becomes like an extension of you.
Yeah.
That's the most effective defense tool, not these things.
And also, like, I think this, because in New York City, if you use anything for self-defense, like, they're going to take a look at it, like, very deeply, bro. So if you have something, like, let's say you work in retail or you work in shipping and you have a knife that you use to cut boxes all the time, you're going to have a little bit more leeway if your life was threatened by somebody and you had to use it in that sense, because you have a reason why you're carrying it. You're not carrying it for self-defense. You know, like for me, for example, if something happened, I'm like, look, I am a knife reviewer. I have this whole catalog of content that I make. That's why I have it. But if it's a tactical like knife, it's very different.
So no.
You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go to the next one here. Okay, there's a very expensive one, and maybe one of those
Which
things.
270 with N690.
Yeah, I'm a hard pass on it. This one though is a ProTech Sprint Custom. Okay, I know this model. This is,
oh my God.
Yeah, it's mother of pearl and titanium. This is $960. I have seen these before. They're absolutely beautiful. I would never get one.
2-inch blade length.
Yeah, this is strictly one of those art pieces that we were talking about earlier.
Okay, first of all,
yeah,
the first thing that comes up is it says Damascus, it does not say Damasteel.
Yeah.
And if you're charging me $900 and something for it, it better be Damasteel or Damacore.
True.
Like, do not even talk to me about.
I think it's
Damascus.
The mother of pearl and all the other stuff in it, though. That's probably
who cares? Okay.
No,
Speaking of that,
USA
you want to know a small
bro.
knife that I was really tempted by? That's on Blade HQ. That's coming soon. Kershaw is releasing a Launch 3.
Yeah.
With in Ultem handle material and Magnacut steel for under $150.
Looking for it right now. The Launch 3, right?
I can't remember if it's Launch 3, but just look at Ultem. It's a plastic material.
Yeah, the yellow PP looking thing.
Yeah, Ultem or something like that.
Ultem. Let's see. Oh,
there
this one right here. Oh, snap.
Oh man, this is sick. I'm so tempted. I don't want
to. Bro, why
do
you like this? Let me ask you. Why do you like this material? Tell me about this material and why you like it, because I'm trying to understand.
As a chemist, this material gives me the happies. So this is a polymer that was created to maintain its structural integrity in incredible heat. It has the tensile strength of aluminum.
Okay.
So it's really strong and really heat resistant.
Okay.
So, and the beautiful thing about it is unlike G10 has fibers in it that make that can really gunk up machines, and it can be a real pain in the butt. But Ultem doesn't work like that. It's like working with straight nylon, right? It's a lot easier to machine than G10 would be. So the base material is more expensive and not a lot of people are using it yet. And it's only come in one color, by the way. You cannot dye this thing. It's going to be that amber color. But it is super cool. And the fact that they made it in Magnacut, I mean,
I know.
Crazy. I mean, by the way, I'm sure everyone knows by now, it's not just us trying to hype this thing up. Magnacut is a unicorn of steels.
It's awesome.
It does something. It breaks the formula.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know. I mean, I could go into the big thing, but it's literally the real deal.
I'm going sharp on this that you just showed me right now. $125.
It's not even that expensive.
No,
that's the thing.
And it's made in the USA as well with Magnacut and
I know.
Nice material. It's crazy.
This is why those other ones that don't make sense. They're like 300. Like that was almost 300 the last one, and I don't know where it was made.
Yeah,
but like it's just question mark for me.
Here's another question mark right here, like one right after another. So I'm going sharp on that one. This is D-Rocket Designs. This is a liner lock. It's $375.
Okay.
All right. D-Rocket is what? Is that what's his name? Daryl fucking.
Yeah, I love that guy's work, by the way.
Yeah.
He has some of the coolest knives I've ever seen. The only one who has cooler knives than him is Winter Blade Co. Brian.
Oh, Winter Blade Co. is the best, bro. Like
he needs to leave some innovation for other people. Really, like he needs to take a break for a year or something.
Yeah, the Factor is amazing.
He keeps coming up. No, but did you see the new magnetic backlock he came up with just because he felt like it? It's like
I call him the mad scientist of the EDC world.
He's
I always
genius.
comment
He's
that.
Genius.
Yeah, on his. I talk to him every now and then, and I just like say that, and then, yeah, he's just a mad scientist. But this knife
he manages to be humble at the same time, which is really awesome.
Anyway, this knife right here, though, $375.
I actually kind of like the blade shape. I'll be honest. I think it's unique in that it kind of functions as a scraper, which is different. It's not exactly a tanto.
Yeah,
you know, it's got a different blade shape. And weirdly enough, there are plenty of people in the construction industry who can't carry a pointed knife.
Oh shit, that's a good point.
You know, actually, I think this still is legal because it has a blade on the front. But yeah.
So this is Micarta, 4.3 ounces. It's made in the USA, and it's $375. M390 blade steel.
Who's it made by?
Oh, it doesn't say who manufactured it.
It's interesting. It doesn't say. No, I mean it's fine, but why? There was a phase of me that wanted to not be missing out. I think that's what it comes down to. Something unique comes out. There's only one expensive knife that I've been tempted by in the last 2 years.
Which one's that?
It's a new one from We Knives. Sinek made it, designed it.
Oh, the Sinek
with the super lock.
Yes, my friends all have
It's the first knife that I've seen that genuinely could challenge the only knife that will remain in my collection. That one right there.
Sinek X, bro. Sinek X Vision R. I remember seeing this. I also want this. Tri-State keeps telling me he's going to send it to me, and he hasn't.
Okay, let me tell you about this. The fact that this designer made the lock open source and didn't patent it is such a that alone makes me want it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But the actual shape of the blade is clearly designed for food prep. And like we were talking about, like a knife for food prep. There's only one knife in my collection that'll probably ever stay, and that's this one.
Okay. Which knife is that? Oh, the Spidey Chef. Yeah, love that one.
It's the only one. It's probably the only one because it was designed from the very ground up for a very specific purpose, and it actually works for that purpose. It's a folding fixed blade for food prep. That's what it is. It's a folding paring knife, and you could throw this in the dishwasher, and I've done that. I just throw it in the dishwasher. I don't care so what? You can get the soap in it. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't get messed up or anything, does it?
You can't. It's basically impervious. I mean, they have shown like sitting in the Dead Sea for like 3 weeks. But this knife, anyway, I want to get back to this knife. This knife has a better cutting geometry, I think, than this one. I like the slightly curved edge of the Vision R a little bit better. Yeah, I just feel like that if they put Magnacut steel in that, I would sell half my knife collection and buy 3.
Wow.
Like that's how, and I would use it all the time because it would be amazing.
The pocket clip is in a weird place, huh?
It's kind of cool, actually. I like it. I like it that it starts off being universal completely. Like the lock's universal and the back thing is universal, like right or left-handed, doesn't matter.
It's very interesting.
It's very different. Yeah. I love it. Of all the different things, it's a functional different, not a looks different.
I'm going sharp on it. I mean, I've already done this once, but definitely sharp on that, dude. And
like I'm derailing what you're saying. I'm like, but that one's bad. But here, let's go look at this one.
Yeah. No. I'm fine showing this. This is amazing. Like sharp,
it's literally,
bro.
It's one of the few, man, that I really considered.
It's a good one. It's definitely a good one. Yeah, if it was in Magnacut, I mean, that'd be pretty wild, man.
It'd be game over. I mean, like, I hate M390. Like, I really despise that steel.
Well, how come? Let's end on that. How come?
It sucks to sharpen. It's
Oh, it does.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
You need a very specific stone, and if you use a diamond that's not a high quality diamond, you can cause damage to the edge that takes so much work to get out.
Yeah.
Vanadium steels are rough.
It's a tough one, man. And a lot of knives that are in that 200 plus category just can't, have M390 on it, because that's the steel that when you see it, most people kind of feel good about
exactly.
it. It's kind of like,
what's funny?
Yeah.
Magnacut is actually a cheaper steel.
I like Magnacut a lot.
But
yeah.
From the stats, it's better than M390. But what's weird is the way it was produced for Crucible, it's cheaper to make.
Yeah.
Cheaper to make, cheaper to machine, cheaper to everything. Cheaper to heat treatment, it's easier. Like, everything about it is easier, so it ends up being cheaper than a better. Like, it's so confusing. Like,
I wonder
it
if we'll see more
eliminates an entire mid-range.
We're seeing a lot more Magnacut knives, though. We definitely are.
I hope so, because there's no S35, S45. There's tons of steels that don't even need to exist anymore. I hate to be a dick, but they don't deserve to be around at this point. No, I mean, from a stats perspective and an ease of the production and everything else, they could stop making S30, S35, 154 CM, N690, CTX XHP, I forget the name of it.
Yeah.
They could stop making a lot of steels. And the only ones that will end up surviving through all of that are going to be, that actually have a difference, are going to be things like crewwear, CPM crewwear.
Yes. Yep.
S3V, 3V specifically. LC200N, because it is about 30% tougher than people realize. Like, it's really tough. Vanex Super Clean. Like, there's very few steels from a functional perspective that can even come close. And none of them are as cheap. All of those are more expensive than Magnacut, which is super weird.
That is super weird.
Made in the USA, Deca is $120.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
In Magnacut.
That knife confuses me.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
Well, you have Civivi offering a Nitro V blade at 110.
It's pretty wild.
Not good.
It doesn't make sense for sure. That whole deck definitely shook things up, man, because it's so good.
I mean,
yep.
Anyway,
you heard it here first, my friends, from MaxlvlEDC. Magnacut or go home, baby.
I just don't see, if you're going to invest more than $100 in a knife, it should be Magnacut if you're going to use it.
Yeah.
Or the other ones I said, 3V. It's going to, you beat the crap out of that, and it's going to take it and laugh at you. Crewwear. I mean, when you're talking about performance, I don't know many steels that could ever touch the performance of crewwear. Toughness, edge retention, easy to sharpen too. I love sharpening crewwear. I don't know if you got a chance to take one of those onto a stone, or even just like something like a softer stone. They take an edge so well to so many different sharpening mediums. It's awesome. Like, it's one of the best steels to sharpen. So
I'm
awesome.
like a guided system sharpener. I'm not like an EDC
like
with the
what I mean is
freehand, bro. You know what I mean?
I'm not either. I don't do the freehand, but what I will say is that you get an edge that makes you look like you know what you're doing on steels like crewwear, because it is a semi. I don't know if is it a semi stainless. I forget, but anyway, really, really good. Not many knives made in it, which is really a shame. I think the Benchmade Adamas is one of the few.
That's the last one that I had on that had it. The Benchmade
pretty
Adamas.
sick.
Yeah, I like both of them a lot. That's probably, it's weird because I tell people that's my favorite Benchmade, the Mini Adamas and the Adamas. They're like,
the Mini Adamas is kind of amazing.
They ask me why, and I'm like, because you take, first of all, the action on like maybe 4 of them that I've tried was good right out of the box. Benchmades are usually pretty stiff, right? And the fit and finish of it is so good. It doesn't matter what color you get, right? You hold it in your hand, it's contoured, everything is nicely contoured. There's no weirdness like in the handles or anything. The blade looks amazing.
I mean, you want a tool that you could literally use as a pry bar. It's almost
That's my favorite.
I mean,
My favorite Benchmade, which is strange coming from someone who
yeah,
lives
it's
in the
weird,
city.
right?
That is my favorite one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, but and also they did the right thing. They coated it
Yes.
because look, the one downside to crewwear is it's going to rust on you if you don't take care of it. So, but that's fine. Like if you can get the kind of performance you're going to get out of, I'll deal with the rust problem.
Yeah, but
You know, on a coated blade, on a blade that is covered with a DLC coating, which it is, it's awesome. I think it's actually a Cerakote.
Like for me, you know, I'm just cutting boxes from my homie Jeff Bezos like every day, bro.
Yeah.
That's literally all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything rough. So
From Jeff Bezos.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? From the homie, bro. You know, but we freaking did it, dude. Thank you so much for doing the show. I absolutely appreciate it. It was a great time. And we're definitely going to do it again, bro. Everyone, please subscribe to MaxlvlEDC on Instagram. You on TikTok too? I'll put a lot of links in the description.
I gotta get into TikTok. It's been a while. I'm not exactly sure what type of content. I think I'm just gonna end up reposting stuff from YouTube. But
yeah, just don't flip any knives open. If it's multi-tools, I think
yeah,
good,
I think that's what it is. I just like decided that it wasn't even worth my time because of that.
If you're working with affiliate links at all, and I tell all content creators this, if you're working with affiliate links at all, and it is a decent portion of your income as a creator, you are missing out so much on TikTok because
but like, how do you put your links in it though?
So once you hit 1,000 subs, you can put a link tree or a beacons page link right on your page, and TikTok users are just so. This type of action is so ingrained in them that when they see a product and you say link in bio in that video, they're immediately going to go to your profile page and click that link, and you can click it immediately. So this is where
how many links do you put in there? We'll talk about it.
Like for me, it's like if I'm promoting, I don't know, like a Kaiser, you know, mini sheepdog, that's going to be at the top, you know? So for depending on what video I just released, that's what's going to be on top. So as soon as you click, it's right there, and it takes you to, you know, whatever it is. I mean, it's insane how many of these you can sell, especially since you can get 1 million views on TikTok, like easily. Not easily, but it's going to happen. If you're posting consistently, it's going to happen. You're going to be hitting 70,000 views. And, you know, if 1,000 of those people click something and 700 people buy, like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not against money, but I want to know that what I'm putting forward is something I can be sure that they're going to be happy with.
Yep, definitely. But thank you so much for doing the show, man. This is your boy Ray and the Everyday City Carry with MaxlvlEDC saying peace. Yo, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so we can squad up in the comments.